If you're tired of feeling stuck with not having enough, or lack is a constant, very present problem, you don't have to anymore. In this video today, we're going to be discussing the 7 hidden habits blocking your abundance. Now, it's very imperative to know when you start to pursue abundance from a biblical perspective, you're always going to have someone who opposes that. Someone who feels as though having more than enough is sinful, having more than enough is not humble, having the desire to have more than enough is prideful. You got to know that disruption always follows intention. So when you intend to do something, something is going to try and disrupt your intention. So that's the first thing that I want you to understand. That's not part of the 7 habits, but I just wanted to use that as a basis. I got to stop saying that's one thing now I've been working on. We elevating our speech, y'all. We elevating our speech. But we're going to use that as a foundation for today's teaching and then build upon that. So you have to have that first. Now, the first habit that is blocking your abundance is letting your environment dictate your growth. If your surroundings are full of unproductive cues, you'll unconsciously form habits that block abundance. In other words, you are the architect of your environment, not a victim of it. Set yourself up for success. Let's break this down. Every single day, there are little things that we do that when we do it consistently, we've now created the results that we have now. So this is why it's super important for us to be very cautious of what we do on a daily, consistent basis. From you waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, washing your face, to you going to sleep at night, you have to be very cautious on the little minute details. So case in point, I woke up today, was on the prayer line. After the prayer line was done, I went and hit the gym. While I was at the gym, they always have the TVs on. What's on the TVs? ESPN, the news, talk shows. And I was very cautious that whenever I'm taking a pause between my sets, I always look at the TVs to see what's going on. Now, you may be thinking, that's a very minute detail. Like, you can look at the TV, you're in pause, you're in between sets. So you're in that pause moment, catching your breath. I don't think it's an issue. It is an issue. Because you want to know why? While I'm working out, I'm also listening to a sermon. And so in between pause sets, my sermon is still going. But my attention is towards something else. So I'm not taking heed to the words that are being spoken over my life. And if that builds up, if I'm not cautious of that habit, what ends up happening is now I am forming in myself a habit of distraction. Anytime that I intend to do something, I get distracted. And something comes up, I get distracted. So I had to cautiously turn my head away from the TV, focus on my workout, focus on the words that are being spoken in the sermon, so I can receive what God wanted me to receive when I click play on this YouTube video. So set up your environment. Don't be a victim of your environment. Don't blame your environment. Blame yourself. Tell yourself no, so that you can say yes to abundance. Number 2, chasing opportunity instead of choosing obedience. Not every opportunity is from God. Obedience positions you for the right opportunities. In other words, walk through the doors of God. Walk through the doors God opens, not every door you see. Not every, and this is very key. This is very key. This is where spiritual discernment, having discernment, comes into play. We don't chase money, we chase purpose. And in order for you to chase purpose, you have to chase the God who's created you for a purpose. So opportunities, although they may be good on the outside, if it will cause you to be disobedient to God, I would highly advise to not do it. I was telling my wife about 2 days ago that this is the reason why God is building character, and he's building us spiritually, physically, in all areas of our life. Because when he takes us to the place we were destined to be, he wants to make sure that we are sustained there and we're not making decisions based off of, so, quote unquote, good opportunities. Like if somebody provides me with $1 million deal, but it gets in between my church time, it gets in between my family time, and I can't speak boldly about my faith, I'm not taking that opportunity. Now, $1 million is good. Like $1 million in itself, you could do a lot with $1 million. But if it gets in between my obedience with God, it's not good. So I choose obedience versus a good opportunity. Number 3, being inflexible instead of adaptable. You don't lack opportunity, you lack adaptability. Every day is a chance to pivot and grow. I've said this before, I've tweeted this. I think this is very key and very important because, again, we say, well, I don't have a camera. Well, I'm not good at speech. Well, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. Whatever it may be. Adaptability, what it does, it causes you to say, you know what, regardless of what the elements is doing, regardless of what everybody else is saying, I'm going to take what was given to me and I'm going to move forward in that. Some people don't work out when it's windy outside or it's raining because they don't like to get rained on. I don't care less. I'm going to the gym 6 days out the week. And this is what separates the 1% versus the other 99%. The 1% says every situation is an opportunity for me to grow, even if it's not my ideal situation. So if I need to adapt, I'm going to adapt. I'm going to adapt. Kobe, Michael Jordan did not get to the position they wanted to be, always complaining. The competition is too strong. They're too big. They're too tall. Such and such has a better three-pointer than me. Such and such is better at free throws than me. Such and such is very more athletic than me. Such and such has a better dunk package than me. You know what they did? They adapted. I believe Michael Jordan, one year, he got beat by the bad boy Pistons because the Pistons were more grittier. They were more stronger. And you know what Michael Jordan and his team did that next year? They got in the gym, they got stronger, and they beat them next year. They adapted. They adapted to the environment. Because the reality is, giants in our lives are going to stay giants. They're going to stay giants. You can't tell a giant, hey, get smaller so I can overcome you. You can't tell a mountain, hey, get smaller so that I can conquer you. What you have to do is you have to recognize, okay, this is a giant, this is a mountain. And let me change myself to be a person who sees this thing or this person as very minute to my capabilities and overcome it. So that's number 3. And also, I want to say this for number 3. Excuses are expensive. Adaptability is abundant. Excuses are definitely expensive. In the present, it doesn't seem as though your excuses is going to cost you a lot, but in the long run, it will. That's all I'm going to say. Number 4, building habits without understanding the system. Habits aren't random, they are loops. Cues, craving, response, reward. Build better habits by using the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. To break this down, we have to understand that the habits that we do on a daily basis, from start to end, is not something that we randomly do, but we've created a system, whether you know it or not, to where now you're doing something unconsciously, but also at a level of mastery to where you don't have to think too hard about it. Some of these habits are bad habits. Like I remember before I got delivered from smoking weed. At first, when I was building the habit of smoking weed, I didn't know how to roll. I didn't know how to smoke. But as I continued to build the habit of smoking weed, it became easier. Get the weed, put it in there, roll it up, spark up, gone. And that's a bad habit. Even though I have mastery over weed, that's not a habit you want to have mastery over, because slowly but surely it's killing me. So we have to build habits and understand that it's a system that takes place as we're building a habit. And get accustomed to understanding the system. Break down the system of the bad habit, and you can be removed from that habit. You can stop that habit if you break down the system. So, case in point, when you wake up in the morning and your first instinct is to scroll on your phone. Every single morning you wake up, you pick up your phone, you scroll your phone. How about this? Instead of at night, because you've already created a system, when you go to sleep, you scroll on your phone, then you put your phone right beside you. You use your phone as an alarm or whatever. Then when you wake up, your phone is right there. You pick up your phone, turn off the alarm, check messages or whatever, and then you go about your day. How about let's break down the system? How about we don't put our phones by us in the morning? How about instead of using your phone as your alarm clock, how about you buy an actual alarm clock? Do you get what I'm saying? Break down the system that you've created, and then you can break the habit. Number 5, focusing on goals without systems. Goals give you a target, but systems create results. Fall in love with the process, not just the prize. I'm so big on this. This is what's been having me very consistent with my walk with Christ, very consistent with my stop saying I'm stopping saying This has had me very consistent with my health and wellness, because what I'm doing is I'm falling in love with the process. Heaven is the prize, but the process is walking with Christ daily. I'm falling in love with walking with Christ daily. I'm falling in love with reading the word daily. I'm falling in love with praying unto God daily, listening to God daily, and growing with God daily. And because I've fallen in love with that process, heaven, I'm going to make it to heaven. Even like with the gym. At first, I wanted to be a certain size. I wanted to be physically fit. I wanted to be healthy. That's fine. But I had to fall in love with eating right. I had to fall in love with working out consistently every single week. So now I don't necessarily look forward to the results. I look forward to the pain of hitting the weights. I look forward to cooking foods and eating fruits and drinking water, drinking juicing, and I've fallen in love with those things. And because I've fallen in love with the system, I'm bound I'm bound to make it to the actual goal. Okay? So we have a target, we know what we want to do, but the system in itself, it creates the result it creates the atmosphere, it creates the environment to where we can actually hit that target. And we want to hit the target, but you have to become the person that can hit the target consistently. In order for you to do that, you have to fall in love with the process of becoming that person. Number 6, neglecting character development. Talent may get you noticed, but character keeps you abundant. Talent may get you noticed, but character keeps you abundant. Without strong character, success can quickly destroy you. In other words, we've seen a lot of businessmen and women, a lot of actors and actresses, artists and musicians, people of high regard in this world. We've seen them make it all the way to the top. A lot of money, a lot of success in their field of expertise. And then we hear in the news that they cheated on their wife, they cheated on their husband, they became strung out on drugs, they cheated people with money, they became abusers, they became manipulators, they became rapists, molesters, whole bunch of things. And we wonder, how did that person do that? It's because they didn't become the person who can sustain. They may became a person, an expert at business, but they didn't become a person who's an expert at life. You can't become a person who's an expert at life if you don't walk with the life giver daily. This is why walking with God and putting God first would now create a person for when God gives them abundance, they can sustain it. Even King Solomon in his days, God blessed him with a lot of wisdom and understanding, and then riches, wealth, and honor. And then we come to find out that King Solomon was sleeping with a lot of women, especially women who caused him to stray away from his God. And we're like, how did that happen? Because your heart wasn't rightly aligned. Your heart wasn't developed the right way. You lacked character. You lacked integrity. And so I don't just want to become a person who has abundance. I want to become the person who knows how to handle the abundance that God gives me, but also knows how to handle the temptation that comes with the abundance. You know, men, let's be real. You get more money, a lot of more women are going to be attracted to you. Women, you get more money, you elevate, you now taking care of, you now getting hair done, nails done, you getting new car, and you know, you taking care of your body, whatever, right? Whatever area of success, right? What ends up happening is you get attention, and wicked men, wicked women start getting looking at you, right? And so you have to become the person who can handle those temptations, because it is temptation when you get more money. There's a lot of temptation. And so I want to not just get to a place because my talent took me to that place. I want to get to that place, and then I want to be sustained in that place, and I can only be sustained through character. Another example, a lot of these guys who transition from college to the NFL, you see in the news, Tyreek Hill, he's a perfect example. He's beating his wife or whatever. He's very angry, upset. We've seen all these brothers. And we're trying to figure out, you got all this success. Why are you so stupid and dumb to mess it up? It's because they didn't become the person who can't mess it up. They didn't get no deliverance, no breakthrough. They're not set free from their internal holes. They've only got notice for their talent, but they never got notice for having integrity, having that strong someone who knows how to control their tempers, control themselves. So we want to not neglect character development. Number 7, wasting time on what doesn't matter. Minutes wasted add up to years lost. I need y'all to get this. Minutes wasted add up to years lost. If you're spending 2 hours a day on TikTok, you will not be successful. I have to tell you that. If you are spending 2 hours on social media and more, because I know a lot of people are spending more, you will not be successful. You will not get to the position where you want to be. You have to put the phone down. You have to remove the distractions, and you have to take back your time. Take back your time. Your time is very precious. You should be using your time to use your time to do the things that God has called you to do, and to grow and develop and become the person that God wants you to be. There's so many things that you haven't learned yet, but you're looking at somebody else walking their purpose and calling. One person that's going viral right now is Ashton Hall. And Ashton Hall is very smart in marketing. His team is very smart in marketing, right? I believe he hit like 1 billion views on his shorts and videos or whatever, right? But I want y'all to see that for him to get 1 billion views, that means that 1 billion people are looking at him. And I'm very positive that it was multiple people that didn't just watch one video, but they watched multiple videos of Ashton Hall. Now on Ashton Hall's side, that's good. You want to know why? Because he's creating, he's producing, he's putting it out, and people is eating it up. But for the person who's not doing that, it's bad for them, because as Ashton Hall is living his life and getting the accolades, getting the revenue from producing and serving, you ain't getting nothing but just a laugh, and that's it. That's it. Hey, God bless Ashton Hall. I believe bro is I think he's a man of God. I think I only watched his videos like 2 to 3 times, and then I stopped. I'm too busy looking at my life to be looking at his life. Guard your minutes, invest them into what truly matters, and give generously. Guard your minutes. What does guard your minutes mean? Protect your precious time. Protect your time. And then invest into what truly matters, which is your purpose, which is your calling, which is your gifts, which is your talents. If you think that you are at a level and that there's no other levels to go higher, you a fool. Oh, God forgive me. I can't say fool. I can't say fool. Oh, Lord, I repent. You're being very foolish. You're being very foolish. I'm not looking at nobody else. I'm looking at myself. How can I better William Rourke Jr.? I ain't looking at nobody. I don't care if they family. I'm not looking at them. I will not stop until my mentors, my teachers, the people that I look up to become my peers. Matter of fact, I treat them like my peers right now. And I'm not following my peers all day, every day. I had to stop a Myron Golden video before I came out here, got in my car to give you all this wisdom that God has given me. Before I did that, I was watching a Myron Golden video. You know what I had to do? I didn't even finish the video. The video had just started. I got a notification saying he was going live. I clicked on it and see what he was talking about. He was talking so much good stuff. But you know what I had to do? I had to turn him off because I got videos that I have to create. I love Myron Golden. I love the information and everything that he puts out. But I'm sorry. You got one less viewer because I'm about to go out and do the things that you have been saying for people to do. That's what God is looking for. So these are 7 habits blocking your abundance. I would advise y'all to fix these fast if you want to start seeing abundance. abundance in your health, abundance in spiritually, abundance physically, abundance mentally, abundance emotionally, abundance financially. If you want to see abundance in all areas of your life, I highly suggest you stop these habits because they are blocking you from reaching the abundance that God has ordained for you and those who are around you. So God bless y'all. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I put out a new video. We're going to grow. As you can see, God has been working on me and my speech, saying I had to stop that. I'm very cautious now of the things that I'm doing. I'm looking at the minute details. It's the increments. It's the little things that you do on a daily basis that you fine tune and that you bring into alignment that will get you to a higher level. And that's what we're going to do together. God bless y'all.